What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Blothers podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Gorielli. And today we're going to be going over the Champions League matches from the last 2 days from match week 1 and predicting how we think every team is going to do.
That's right. So let's just get straight into it.
Mm.
Did you get a chance to watch any of the games?
Well, yeah, I watched obviously the United game. Huge disappointment. I'm a United fan. I was extremely disappointed. How do I say this in a way without cursing? I was frustrated
Mm.
by by everything, basically everything. So I think it was like well, that was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, how inaccurate can you be?
It
But
was stupid.
mistakes happen. It happens to every player. But the thing that pisses me off about that particular game is, well, yes, the red card, but the red card is, it's fine. Sometimes that happens. But the substitutions that were made by the United manager were just shocking. Like, they were really bad.
They made no sense.
Yeah, because they subbed out Cristiano Ronaldo, which I think is a mistake. But even if you decide to sub out Cristiano Ronaldo, you don't sub in a midfielder when you only have 10 players on the field.
Yeah.
You need to sub in a striker or forward, someone who's going to put fear into the defender's mind. And I think that instead of subbing in Jesse Lingard, that he should have subbed in someone like a Mason Greenwood or maybe an Anthony Martial, someone who's an attacker, who's quick, who can get in behind. And then young boys don't get the chance to squeeze in and push the whole game into being in the United half. And that's what happened. And that's why young boys were so much better than United after Ronaldo was subbed out.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't make sense. I think that if Ronaldo wasn't subbed out in that 95th minute, the United probably, if they did lose, they wouldn't have lost in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, they would have had a much better chance now. I mean, you're 100% right about what you said. But even the entire game, I mean, I'm just looking at the stats. United had only 2 shots attempted the entire game.
They were both by Ronaldo inside the first 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah, and Young Boys had 19.
Yeah.
That's more than 9 times the amount that United had.
It's just a really shocking and embarrassing game, in my opinion. I don't see any other way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's anything to worry about, though, because it is just one game.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. It's not anything to worry about. It's not going to mean anything if United win the Champions League. Like, no one's going to say, oh, they lost match week 1.
Yeah.
But it's a shocking performance by a team who is a good team. Like, United have a good team.
And they
It's
have
just,
a lot of upside after the transfer market.
yeah, they do. But, it goes on. I feel bad for Jesse Lingard because as a United fan, I know the fan base and they're all going to come down on him pretty harshly. But, at the same time, it's just one game. It's not going to change the whole season. But let's move on. Did you get a chance to watch the Liverpool game?
I did not get a chance, but I know that they were very close to losing.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very close. I mean, thank God for Henderson that he got that last goal and for them to secure the win. But they were up 2-0 and then all of a sudden they almost lost pretty much. I mean, it was disappointing.
I was watching the game and it was crazy. It was like someone switched on the entire AC Milan team and the whole momentum shifted and all of a sudden they were tied 2-2.
Yeah.
And then that last goal by Henderson, did you see it? It was amazing.
It was really
It was a very nice goal. And I hate Liverpool, but a good goal is a good goal.
Yeah.
And I think in the end they did deserve to win that game.
They did. I mean, they just played better in the second half, right?
Yeah.
Getting that goal in and just being able to play better offensively compared to Milan.
Yeah.
But
So
let's talk about the PSG game.
mhm,
I got to watch a bit of that game. I assume you did as well.
yeah.
First thoughts about that?
Well, it's surprising to see PSG draw with a team like Club Brugge, and not even just draw. They played worse than them. I thought Club Brugge was a better team in that game.
They
And
were, yeah.
yeah, and Mbappe, he played great, got injured. Neymar and Messi, they weren't really felt. And I think that the reason that Messi didn't play as well was because, well, he's been playing at like for the same system for the past what, 20 years?
Hmm.
And all of a sudden he goes to PSG and it's a whole different ball game because at Barcelona they focused on slowing down the game and keeping possession, and at PSG it's a lot more fast paced. So Messi doesn't have time to like plot out what he's going to do for the rest of the game. So I think that's why he didn't play as well as we thought he would. And also I think, he's only been at PSG for what, 2 months?
Less than.
Yeah, less than 2 months. So, the chemistry is probably not there. But again, I don't think it's anything to worry about because, they have I would say, the most talented team in the entire world.
Yeah, they have the best trio in the entire world with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. And yeah, I mean, it is sad about Mbappe leaving early, which definitely hurt PSG. And you're right about Messi and about what happened with him yesterday. But I'm more disappointed in Neymar because he's obviously played with this system for much longer and he knows what to do. And it's not like Club Brugge is an amazing team, but he really was just not able to get anywhere.
Yeah.
And it was just disappointing.
It's it's a mixture of the fact that Club Brugge, I think that they played the game very well in a tactical sense. They always had their center back on Neymar. They always had someone marking Neymar, and same with Messi.
Yeah.
But Neymar was more of a focal point because Neymar he's been at the club longer. He knows the system well. He knows the players well. So everything is there for him.
Yeah.
So I think it was more important for Club Brugge to man mark Neymar to make sure that he doesn't have a good game, which I thought they did very well.
Yeah, I think they did phenomenal because although they didn't get the win, getting even the draw in this game is huge against arguably the best team in the world.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
But
Um,
I mean, some of these other games, right? They were pretty crazy. I mean, talking about the Bayern and Barca game, Lewandowski
mhm.
got 2 goals. Mueller got a goal. I mean, these Germans, man, they're crazy.
They're a very good team. It's a team. Bayern is a team that at the beginning of the season they start out a little slow, and then everybody automatically counts them out.
Hmm.
People see, just because PSG had an amazing transfer window, that all of a sudden, oh, they're going to win everything. But Bayern is still arguably the best team in the world. They have, I think, the best midfield in the entire world with and Thomas Muller. They have arguably the best striker in the world, arguably the best keeper in the world. And, they have a very good, well rounded team with a great bench also. So I think that Bayern just showed everyone, they showed the world that they're still here.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people counted out Barca after Messi was gone because they didn't think, oh, they're not going to be as good, which they're not. Obviously, they're not going to be as good, but they're still a good team.
Yeah.
It's not like they're a bad team. Like the fact that Bayern was able to get 3 goals against Barca and Barca was able to get nothing is insane.
I think this was the first game in Barca's entire history where they didn't manage to get a shot on target.
Did they actually?
That's how good this Bayern, yeah, that's how good this
Wow.
Bayern team played. And that's how good they can play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. It is. So moving on to, I think, I think arguably the best game of the entire match week. It's the Inter Milan versus Real Madrid game. I think it wasn't a one-sided game. I think it was a pretty two-sided game. Obviously with Real Madrid scoring that last-minute winner.
Mhm.
Uh, what are your thoughts about that game?
I mean, it was just good attacking and good defense on both sides, right? Like you said, both teams played very well, and they were going at each other the entire game. They both got a lot of shots in, um, and honestly, Inter Milan was just playing better overall, but they were just not able to connect on a lot of these goals. But Real Madrid in late in the second half was just able to get there, and obviously Rodrigo with that late goal was able to get the dub for them.
Yeah. I think it was a a pretty end-to-end game, a very entertaining game. Both teams had a lot of shots on both teams had a lot of shots. Both teams played well offensively, defensively. It was just a great game to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
And also talking about one of the most insane games is Man City, as they
Mhm.
had 6 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah.
What did you get a chance to watch that game?
Um, I did. It was a very one-sided game. Even though Leipzig did manage to get, I think it was 2 goals,
3 goals,
uh,
yeah.
3 goals. It was a very very entertaining game, a very one-sided game. A lot of goals scored. Uh, Obviously, in Kunku scoring a hat trick, which is it's not a bad feat, even though they lost the game. That's pretty impressive. City have a good team, they have a good defense, so scoring a hat trick against City, no matter the score, is impressive.
Well, yeah, and then Kunku had the all goals that Leipzig had.
Yeah, he's a great player,
Mhm.
but City are just a powerhouse. Like,
Yeah,
it's very hard to stop them, and I think they showed that.
yeah, we got to give Jack Grealish some of the spotlight because he was phenomenal in that game.
He was. I love Jack Grealish. I think he's a very good player. I think he's talented. He can pretty much do everything offensively. He can always see the pass. He always thinks one step ahead. I think he's a phenomenal player, and I think City got a real baller on their
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, you're right. I mean, there was a ton of great players in match day one. Who do you think was the best player?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. For me, it's definitely Sebastian Aller for Ajax, scoring 4 goals on his Champions League debut. I think it's only been done by one player before him, and that's Marco van Basten in 1992. I think he was just 1 goal away from tying the record, 2 goals away from breaking it. Fantastic game. Very underrated player, in my opinion.
Or,
What about you?
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say Allaire also. I mean, he getting 4 goals is insane. Almost getting the record, which is a 5,
Mhm.
and which would just be insane. But the only other player I would put behind him, put it at number 2, is Lewandowski, since he got those 2 goals on Bayern against Barca.
I think that another player that you can say would be player of the week is in Kunku, but the only reason that it's not a definite, in my opinion, is because they lost. Because if they would have won or tied that game, I think he's undoubtedly the player of the week because of the level of the team that City is, right? Because Allaire, he scored 4 goals, which is amazing, right?
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic for him. It's fantastic for the team. But you have to look at the team that they were playing against. I think there's no way in hell that you can compare sporting to Barcelona or City. So I think that if Leipzig would have tied or would have won, that Nkunku would have gotten the player of the week for me. But
yeah,
they
yeah. I mean, like you said, you were saying, like even getting those 3 goals is still against Man City, who is one of the best teams, arguably the best team in the world, and getting those 3 goals is still a huge feat for him and for Leipzig.
Mhm. Wait, so moving on, I want to hear your prediction for after match week 1, after watching all the games. Who do you have winning the Champions League?
I think right now it's too early for me to say, but if I had to pick, uh, I mean, it's gonna come down between PSG or Man City. I know it will be. For me to pick, like who I'm gonna pick myself, it's gonna be between PSG and Man City. Um, I'm not. I after this week, I'd say Man City, but because of how we know PSG it will be able to do in the next coming weeks and how they'll be able to progress as a team, I'm like they're very neck and neck. But right now, I have Man City, and the other team that I'm not counting out is Bayern.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I think for me it comes down to 4 teams.
yeah,
One of them is a little biased, but 4 teams.
yeah,
Uh, so obviously, City, PSG, Bayern. I also have United because you can't not have Cristiano Ronaldo with a shot of winning the Champions League. It's Cristiano Ronaldo.
yeah,
Like, there's no way of knowing how good he's gonna do in May, right? You can't know. You have no idea, and that's why, I still have faith that United can win the Champions League. But if I think about it from a non-biased perspective, I think it's I think it's definitely going to be Bayern
yeah.
because they're a fantastic all-around team, and they keep surprising. Well, not really surprising. They keep showing how good they are year after year.
Yeah, I mean, I think those four teams that we both said, I mean, Man City, PSG, Bayern, and United, I think it's going to be very close between any of them, right? You could say any of them are going to win, and I'd say sure, like they have a very good chance because they're just powerhouses. I think Bayern, their offense
Yeah,
is
it
probably
makes sense.
the best, and I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how it's going to go down.
Mhm. So another thing that I wanted to know is who do you think is going to surprise people this year in the Champions League?
I mean, if I had to pick one team, because there are a lot of teams that I think have upside, but if I had to pick one, I'd say Liverpool, because I think that they're going to do better than people think. And they have Salah, Van Dijk, and they're a very well-rounded team. And
Mhm.
there's not much for me to say because everybody knows how good Liverpool is and how good they can be if they can connect in the games that they play. Who do you
Yeah,
have?
I mean, I can see that. I can see that, but I have for me it's Dortmund because I think that most people counted them out the second that Sancho transferred to Man United. The second that he left, people were already saying, okay, Dortmund are going to have a bad year. They're not a very good team, but they're a quality team. Like they still have quality players. Obviously they have Erling Haaland, who's I think top 4 or 5 strikers in the world.
Yep.
I think they have they have a good team. They have a good foundation, with up and coming players like Gio Reyna, Jude Bellingham. I think they can surprise people. And the only other team that I would say is Real Madrid because people have been counting them out the second that, they slowly started regressing after Ronaldo left. And the second that he went to Juventus, people have been counting them out. And I think that they have a chance to prove some people wrong this year.
Yeah, I think Dortmund is a very big underdogs in this, and same with Real Madrid. But I mean, Real Madrid, I feel like is very all over the place right now,
Mhm.
and I'm not like you could say that they could do very well, and you could say that they could do very poorly, and I would say you're right, right? Like it could go either way. I think that's how it could end up.
Mhm.
Thanks for listening, everyone. My name is Jacob Schenker.
And I'm Gora Rielli.
Tune into the next episode on Monday.